What's up guys, so Eric here. The second day of TFT Worlds has just finished, and if you look at the scoreboard, you see two North American players. Setsuko, first place, Rereplay, second place. Setsuko, 72 points, Rereplay, 71 points, and then third place is 4 points below that. Flancy, one of the best players in China, is behind both Setsuko and Rereplay. It has been an amazing World Championship for North America so far. Today, I want to highlight one of the games of Rereplay, the person who's in second place, because we watched Setsuko yesterday. I want to give the light to both Rereplay and Setsuko because they're both performing so well. This was a really cool Jhin game that he ended up playing from a strong opener with a collector that was actually taken at 3-2, which generally you don't see too often. You like collector early game to farm some gold, but you don't love getting like collector at 3-2. But he takes collector and absolutely stomps with it. It's collector plus Jhin hero augment to farm insane amounts of gold and play for a very capped board. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Prage for NA tomorrow. If you guys are live viewing Worlds, I will be live viewing it on my channel tomorrow. So if you guys are interested, check it out. We're going to be watching Worlds and watching Setsuko or Rereplay win Worlds. Hope to see you guys there and hope you guys enjoy the video. Bye. What's up guys, it's Eric here. We are watching Rereplay's Game 4 from Day 2 of the World Championship. As I talked about earlier, Rereplay went second overall on the day, only behind Setsuko, and is that even such a bad thing to be behind Setsuko? He had a dominating performance. Wanted to highlight his games because we did a game from Setsuko yesterday. We should do a game from Rereplay today because he had equally as dominant a performance. And now we have Setsuko and Rereplay as the top two. Both are going to finals tomorrow. It's going to be so hype. I probably talked about some of this in the intro. I don't know. I'm going to record this after this, so I don't actually know what I just said to you, but all good. We started tier, and it's a little bit awkward now because we're hitting this Kale too, which makes you want to play more around like a duelist opener, but like you would not ideally play duelist with this Kale start, or with the tier start, I mean. We'll see what our augment is here because that could change a lot of stuff. But yeah, nothing really great to slam here. Cybernetic uplink takeable. You could theoretically take Knife's Edge. I would probably angle like uplink here. The other option is reroll. I don't love Defender Crest from here. Curious to see what he ends up taking here. I would definitely rip uplink, but maybe he'll surprise me with like a reroll or something. Is he checking stats? I don't know. Yeah, he rerolls. Okay. And now he gets offered Sunfire, Metabolic, Second Win. I think Second Win is just always very strong. No reason to take Metabolic and try to Lost Streak from this spot. And Sunfire is fine, but we already, like, you could theoretically make Sunfire with these components. I'd probably take Second Win. The only problem is we don't have that much of a front line. Second Win doesn't get insane value, but it's still just such a good augment. All right. So we're going to start off with a bit of a built diff board, right? Definitely need to get this Yasuo in, I would imagine. Wow. We're actually going to play the Blitzcrank here just to have like a front line. I think I like playing the Yasuo more here, but it's maybe an interesting idea of just like playing for like the problem is Yasuo isn't going to be that tanky. It's also possible that maybe he wants to hold all these units. I mean, he could have played the GP. Yeah, I'd like to get Duelist in here for sure, but we're basically playing like a little bit of a built diff board right now. Ends up getting Infiniteam in here with the Sivir. It is frontline and backline portal, so could be a solid Infiniteam angle. Yeah, it looks like he does really just want to play the Blitzcrank here. He doesn't think that Duelist actually matters as much as having the frontline from the Blitzcrank, which is pretty cool. I could definitely see that having Blitzcrank here to actually tank, because both Nasus and Kale are damage dealing units. Like, you really want some kind of unit to tank long enough, whereas like, you know, the GP is just going to get one shot immediately. So I could actually see this being the play. It's a pretty interesting idea. And also, I mean, he's going to Lost Streak anyway from this spot until he hits a ton of 2-star units. Now that he has GP2, you can definitely think about potentially win streaking from this spot. And he's looking to also potentially sell off some of his bench to make 10 here, which makes a lot of sense. We don't have like a mascot to play, so we can't really play that yet. But, like, ideally, this Poppy would be like a Malphite or something. Actually, fighting Lee Sin too here. We might actually 3-loss this, which means we could, I don't know. I mean, the problem with Jukyu's board is he doesn't have any damage. The Lee Sin 2 is nice, but if you look at the rest of the board, there's actually nothing. So I'm going to sell here, make 10. Get hold on to this Infiniteam bench. So maybe there's a pivot to Infiniteam. Curious to see what he ends up taking here, because we need to finally make some items. Static Shiv tends to be good, but that means you're sort of like angling for AP from here. I guess he could make Renans here if he really wants to, but I would really love to slam 2 items in this spot, especially because we won the last fight. We would really like to play for win streak, ideally. Taking the glove here. Interesting. I was thinking Static Shiv plus some kind of tank item, but he takes glove. I guess, I mean, it could be just Static Shiv Guardbreaker from this spot. Is going to level for the Ramus. He goes Renan's Guardbreaker. Okay. So Renan's, in general, like a slightly worse item than Static Shiv, but a little bit better in this spot because obviously it's an AD item that you can put on Kale. So I like it. And still like the same idea as Static Shiv and Guard Breaker, like the Renons can help you proc the Guard Breaker more frequently. So I actually like that a lot. I haven't done too many Renons Guard Breaker games myself, but it's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, surely we're not. Yeah, like surely we'll just play the Vi here. The Vi actually is really high value, getting Shred onto this board. Surely we're not going to play 4 units and then try to win with 4 units. That would be kind of interesting. The Rammus early is also really good to help play for streak. We're fighting actually a pretty strong board with the makeshift armor. And with just the armor shred from Vi, do we have enough damage to get through all these units? It looks really close, actually. Maybe a duelist stiff and a Guardbreaker non-stiff. Oh, the last auto gets it. So 3 streak here from a replay. Still seeing all of these Infiniteam units, but I mean, I think we're just going to play this board for now. Have a strong board and then pivot into something else. You can play a Jhin game from here. That's like very, very straightforward. Well, maybe not straightforward, but definitely strongest. It'll be a little bit hard to make the transition, but it always is with Jhin. The other option is like maybe sell this, make 30 for sure. The other option is like play a Samira, play a Belveth or something. We'd like some more defensive items to play Belveth. But yeah, there's Alistar. There's also Pike that we could potentially hold. If we want to potentially play for this Jhin comp, then we can just make 40 gold by selling everything else. Getting the Alistar in also gets Mascot in, so like if you want, you could take an Alistar augment and play for Jhin. I have seen that happen before. He is going to slam the Protector's Vow in this fight because he's fighting a Riven 2. You have to slam here to protect your streak. Like keeping a win streak here is really, really big. And yeah, he's actually going to stomp this fight. He probably didn't even need to slam. I'm sure. Oh, he's going to hold the Annie, actually. Curious. I mean, it's definitely the next best in. Items-wise here, First Aid, Components, Portable. He doesn't actually have any open item slots. I think Portable is really nice here. If you had like some open items, maybe you take Components, but Components only allow you to slam one item here, whereas Portable gives you an Ornn item, obviously. So I like Portable in this position, just because, yeah, I don't really like any of the other options. Takes Portable here. It's offered Death's Defiance, Gold Collector, Infinity Force. I like Infinity Force here. Just a strong item that can later go into Jhin. He's win streaking. You can also take Gold Collector here if you're confident in winning fights. He's looking at it. He goes for it. Okay, so it is the Gold Collector at 3-2. Ideally, you want this item early because you want to win streak with it and farm some really weak early game boards. But it does actually become more valuable gold-wise the later you get into the game because there's actually more units you can kill. The only downside is that like if he ever loses a streak and like loses some fights, it's gonna feel pretty bad. Like he might, yeah, he's gonna lose. Oh my god, it was so close. He's gonna lose his streak, but at least he farmed 3 gold. Has Vayne now. He's thinking of potentially moving the items over. Is Vayne one better than Keltu here? Looks like he thinks yes. It's a good question. You could even play 4 Duelist here, but then you'd have to cut out the Annie and the Rammus. I think I might have actually even done that. Played 4 Duelist with Kale. It looks like he thinks he just needs as much frontline as possible. The problem with that is perhaps that like Vayne's going to steal some of Kale's kills, whereas like if you play Gold Collector with no other backline, especially with this Duelist, you just play a ton of frontline, and like look at this, she farms every single kill. So, I mean, a little bit even high rolly to hit all that stuff. Okay. We need probably some kind of frontline item here, or if we want to play like a Jhin comp, you don't need him as much. It looks like he's angling just for the Warmogs. I love it. It's, I mean, the only like just slammable frontline item we can take here. Really, really good just tempo play out of Rereplay here. Just playing for streak. He's even going to level here and roll. There's a Viego. There's a Vex. It definitely looks like he's angling Jhin. If you can find one Jhin here, the board spikes like very hard. You could also potentially find a Vayne 2 here. You can get the Morg in here for Shred. Can't roll down all of his gold, and I don't know if he even wanted to. We're going to fight a Lulu board here. And it looks like it's going to be an easy dub. Yeah, we didn't actually farm like any gold though. It feels a little bit bad. It also feels a little bit bad we have to hold all these units on bench. I'd love to find just like a Jhin so that we can start playing this board. Yeah, he's actually going to sell some of these units because it's like, it's very tough to hold this many units on bench. But yeah, he's actually going to keep rolling with the Gold Collector. Boom, there's Jhin. So the pivot is going to come out immediately. He sold Vex, right? Yeah, he sold Vex. So he can't actually get in what he wants to get in here. Ooh, that feels a little bit bad that he had to end up selling Vex, but at least we get to put these items on Jhin. We have really, really clear direction this game. It's also very likely that we hit Hero Augment here. If we can just tailor for Renegade or Riftwalker, then it's quite easy to find a Jhin too. So that's nice. Take another loss feels a little bit bad. Yeah, we need to find that Vex again. Getting all this stuff feels very nice though. Just getting some 2-star units on the board. Also, we have Viego pair. Only problem is a 0 item Viego, but still really, really good. Yeah, actually playing the double Viego here because you know you're always going to play those units can potentially allow you to like sell and make more gold than you normally would. I love it. Yeah, it's still just one Vex, and I think we're stable, I would say. Like, I don't really feel a need to roll deeper here. You just Renegade the this guy, and you have a really, really strong front line. Ideally, you'd have like Jhin pair or something, but it's all good. Probably looking for Jhin hero augment here, just because it's so strong in this comp. You could take Viego, but the problem is we have no items on this Viego. So, you know, if you took like, I don't know what, Viego healing augment, you also have second win. It's not very high value. So yeah, I do take Jhin augment here. It's a little awkward though. You don't really want to roll, I would think, on 7. Your board's probably stable. 4, 4, 5. Yeah, I mean, I think we just roll for the other one. You could also take the other Leona augment, but I don't know. The other Jhin augment for farming a lot of gold, I forget what it's called. Rule of 4 is just quite good. And he hits Vex 2 now. The value of rolling is so low. Surely you just go 8 here, right? I don't know. It is tournament, but like it's so low value to roll here because you already have Rammus 2, Alistar 2, Vex 2. So you're only rolling for Jhin and Viego and like Morg 2. So yeah, I like just playing Rule of 4 here. Your board's decent enough, like especially if you win without rolling, then you are hard chilling. And the Collector Jhin with Rule of 4 is going to farm infinite. It's such a cool comp, actually, with the Rule of 4 and Collector. You just get a ton of econ. Something that you have to think about this game is you need to keep... Was that a... I'm pretty sure I just saw a 2-star Mordekaiser on one of those boards. That's horrifying. But yeah, you need to keep the tempo up, and you need to be able to go 9 this game or roll for like a 3-star 4 cost. Because with Rule of 4, and with the fact that we took Collector, like our board is going to be naturally capped a little bit lower than everyone else. So like we need to actually be able to hit really like a really strong board at this point in the game. Or like at the end of the game, because we're basically down a combat augment with Rule 4. Also, Jukyu went super 8th. I'm not really sure. Oh. Wait, that's so funny. Jukyu disconnected, and they paused because they thought he DC'd, but they didn't realize he just got eliminated at 4-3. Oh no, that's so sad. All right, we can go 8 here. Yeah, I don't hate going 8 here. Asol, you can add to the board. He's, I think, looking and seeing if he needs healing reduction. 1 Jhin is really big here. Oh my god, he hits it. Huge, 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 huge. All right, so that's Jhin 2. You had Asol, right? What else do you add? He had Garen here instead of the Asol. Interesting. I think I would probably opt for just Asol here. I guess something else you could look for is the Rammus 3. He's holding 5 Rami here. He also farms an item off the Rule of 4, which feels amazing. Gonna collect as well. Oh my god. This comp is too fun to watch. Yeah, he sells the Asol here. So he's more interested in playing the Garen for just more frontline by more time. He doesn't want the Asol stealing kills, maybe. But yeah, I mean, he's 70 HP win streaking. His board is very, very strong in this game. This is an amazing, amazing spot for replay. So we'll see how far he can actually take it. Like I said, I haven't watched this game. I watched a little bit of it from someone else's POV, maybe. Or maybe I just like tabbed over to the game towards the end. But I don't actually even remember how it ends. So it'll be a surprise to you and me as well. All I know is Rereplay had an amazing day. So surely it's, I mean, you look at the spot and you look at Replay's scores at the end of the day. Like, I mean, obviously it's a top 4. The question is it like a first or is it a second? Or like maybe it could be a third at worst. But we will see. We will see. He's got all of these offensive components that he needs to find a home for. It's a little bit awkward, right? You want to itemize like Viego ideally here, but like, what are you making? Like GS Gunblade BT could be your 3 Viego items. It doesn't feel amazing, but like it uses these components very well. I don't actually dislike that. Gunblade BT feels kind of bad though. Maybe the BT is something else. GS Gunblade Zephyr, I kind of like. Maybe it's that. We'll see. We will see what he decides to make. You can make GS. You can make GS BT Zephyr, BT over Gunblade potentially. BT GS IE. Okay, Guard Breaker. Okay, so BT GS Guard Breaker ends up being the item. So he doesn't prioritize like making like a Gunblade or anything. Wants to make Guard Breaker at the end of the day. And then the BT as his healing item. I mean, I think this makes a lot of sense. With the changes to Oxforce back in the day, you don't need, like with the fact that Oxforce now provides a shield instead of giving your guys a little bit of extra HP and setting them to -1 HP, you don't need Gunblade as much. It's still a little bit of AP for your Viego, but Viego does really like a giant shield onto him. So it looks like he's prioing the BT a little bit higher than Gunblade, potentially. Also, just getting the Guardbreaker feels pretty nice. Seems like everybody. I mean, his title for the stream is literally double Guardbreaker, and he's built it. He has double Guardbreaker on his board. So the prophecy has been fulfilled. And I watched a game from someone else. I think it was Setsuko, maybe? One of the other NA players where they built double Guardbreaker Jhin. So yeah, it's a double Guardbreaker kind of angle. And I mean, you look, there's just a lot of shielding in TFT right now, especially with anyone who's playing Oxforce. This person's playing Riven, of course. There's, if anyone else builds BT, if anyone has like Celestial Blessing, there's just so much shielding. Another really big fight win. We want to just take a tank item here, ideally. I would imagine. Just like a Declaw would be fine. Gargoyle is fine. Do you even need Ionic Spark here? Probably not. You have Morgana, so no, probably not. So yeah, just takes Gargoyle here. And then ideally this is like a util item. Just goes the fastest 9 in the West, just levels up here. Doesn't want to play too greedy with his econ, which I think makes a lot of sense. I mean, Zephyr seems amazing here, right? I don't really see what else he would take. He didn't actually... Oh, he hits... What is that? The Janna? Okay, that's actually pretty good. It's a little bit awkward to have Zephyr stuck on Morg, but maybe we can remake her. Because, like, you always want her to be same side as your carry, which means you're always Zephyring, like, opposite side of the enemy. So, I mean, it's not bad. But my god, look at how much gold this Jhin is farming. He just went the fastest 9, and now he's just rolling to continue to spike his board. My god. He needs to hit a Leona, and then he can play 4 Mascot, and move the Zac over, which sounds really good. He also just needs to hit something better than this Rammus. Like, this Rammus is just sitting on his board the whole game. Which, I mean, the Rammus, like, not to besmirch the name of the Rammus is doing great work. This is the Mordekaiser board, by the way, that it took us a long, I don't think I think this is our first time fighting them, which is really fortunate. And then at this point, our board is so strong that we actually win, which is so wild. My god, this Rereplay guy is a beast. There's the Leona. So yeah, I imagine you want to do this and then get in 4 Mascot here. Yeah, and this continues to spike your board. And then like the last improvement that we could make on this board is like, I don't know, like Fiddle 2 over Morg maybe. Though like you'd have to like find Shred somewhere else because the Shred is kind of nice. I don't know what else you could actually like you want to do to cap this board out more. Oh, Fiddle 2 over Rammus though. You don't want Rammus anymore. Another Zephyr. I like it a lot. Looking, ooh. So Garen 2 comes in, and he does actually end up cutting the cuts everything actually to play this version of the board with a Janna 2. Pretty cool version of the board actually. He hits the Janna 2 and says, I gotta play a 2-star 5 cost on my board. So I'm going to cut out of the 4 Mascot here, drop back down to 2. Really flex play out of Rereplay. Just always playing his strongest board here, not getting too attached to playing any kind of version of the comp. He hits what he hits, and then he plays it. He still has Leona on bench to potentially play around Leona. Also is holding onto these Viegos. Only a few off Viego 3, only 3 off now. So other people should take note and start holding Viegos, but obviously as an A fan, I'm down for no one to hold it. Gets his whole board shredded, but he does actually nail the Zephyr onto the Janna in the corner. Just with double Zephyrs, feels very good. Can he win this fight actually? It's really close. Janna ult? Yeah, the Janna ult's this Janna has been so big for him. Really well played. Also, I love this Janna positioning just a little bit further up to get the early cast. It's Rainy Janna, so just get like an early cast for all of these units. Feels amazing. Ends up getting Leona in here finally over the Rammus, and then it's going to move some tank items potentially to her. But just BT, right? BT Protector's Vow, and then he moves tank items over here. Oh, I do remember I was watching the game at this point. So he could have actually Warmogged his Leona here, and he probably wins this fight, I mean, even easier than he does. But I think it plays for actually higher cap here to look for a third Leona item. So I do like just slamming those tank items on Garen and looking for like this Hodge here on Leona. Oh, and I do actually remember what he takes here, which is interesting because the death cap, which I don't know. I was like, a death cap Leona here doesn't seem like the best thing in the world. Ends up hitting Nunu 2 here, but like the question at this point is how do you actually fit Nunu 2? Because normally you'd play it in the slot that this like Garen's in and then play 4 Mascot. But like the question is the CC of Garen better than playing Nunu and 4 Mascot? I think not. I think just getting 4 Mascot in is better here. Unless if you get like a Fiddle 2, maybe that's better than 4 Mascot. But I just like the value of 4 Mascot is pretty high, and like a Garen 2. I mean, the problem is he does work. The other option is that you can end up cutting this Garen and put in a Syndra. I've seen a lot of people this tourney cap out the boards really high around Syndra, so we could actually see like Syndra as the final unit here. Curious to see if he ends up playing that, because I don't remember perfectly what the board ends up being. He might just keep playing this though, and just think that the Garen without 4 Mascot is stronger. Gonna fight the Lulu player one more time, but look at these Zephyrs, man. It's the double Zephyr, just perfectly nails it. Like, not only is his board really strong, he's been nailing his Zephyrs and the positioning, like, every single time. Like, he's always in the right spot. Like, his Jhin is never getting, like, destroyed by some random positioning thing that he's messing up. Like, he's always, always, always putting his Jhin in the right spot. And now he hits Fiddle 2, which can come in over either... Ooh, he is gonna think about cutting the Morg. I mean, I don't completely hate it. It just feels a little bit bad to lose all of that shred when you have no shred anywhere. But I think he thinks that he has enough damage, and just the increased damage from the fiddle is going to be enough. So yeah, use the duplicator there just to make 3 gold. Makes a ton of sense. There's the first, but yeah, he's actually rolling past the cinders. He ends up okay. So yeah, he decided to remake the Morgana so that he could move the Zephyr, which feels really good. He still wants her on the board there. I do like this Morg more than Garen here. So he's gonna slam these items here. Gets a Zephyr down at the last second, ends up hitting the Lulu. And this, if he wins it, should be the last fight. We'll see how close it ends up being. The Lulu, oh my god, the Pantheon actually one-shots the the Jhin there. So he loses the fight, picks off a 3rd Zephyr off of the Ornn, or the item tome thing. I can't remember its name ever. And now we're just rolling down. We are 1 off Viego 3. Boom! That is Viego 3. And that has got to be a wrap. His board was a close match before. He did actually lose that fight a little bit, especially here Zephyring the Lulu. Oh, and I remember this fight. Just watch this Viego, man. He just walks up to the right side, ends up ulting the middle side, and then just target lasers onto the Lulu and also onto her. So that is a first place from Rereplay. Incredible performance out of him. Absolutely insane game. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe. Check out my Twitch, where I will be live viewing Day 2 of Worlds tomorrow. So if you want to watch Day 2 of Worlds tomorrow, check out my stream. I will see you guys there. Thanks for watching. Bye.